This is the news in detail on the hour from the WOR newsroom. Dr. Henry Kissinger could be working on another important detail for a Vietnam ceasefire. Tonight he's in Brussels, Belgium, talking with Indonesia's President Suharto on supervising a ceasefire. Indonesia is one of the 4 countries that have been named to have representatives on an international control commission in Vietnam. Earlier today, Dr. Kissinger and North Vietnam's top government man Le-Duc-Tho again discussed peace terms, this time for more than 4 hours. The talks took place at the villa outside Paris, owned by the French Communist Party. The talks will resume tomorrow. In the past 24 hours, the United States Military Command in Saigon says that B-52s have flown 13 missions over North Vietnam. That's as many as they've ever made in that period of time. Again, North Vietnam's military supply stockpiles were the reported targets for the bombers. The command acknowledged that 2 F-4 fighter bombers had crashed. One crashed 40 miles outside of Udorn Air Base in Thailand, cause unknown, 2 crewmen killed in that crash. Another F-4 slammed into the sea off the North Vietnamese coast after being hit by anti-aircraft missile from North Vietnam. That plane's crew was rescued uninjured. It is still questionable whether Canada will join Indonesia, Hungary, and Poland as the 4-nation Vietnam supervisory force. Tonight, Canada's External Affairs Minister Mitchell Sharp said that Canada would not take part in a Vietnam ceasefire agreement unless invited to do so by all the combatants involved. As far as is known, only the United States has asked Canada to participate. New York City's maximum base rent program, the replacement for rent control, is a model of inefficiency and inadequate supervision. So says an 85-page report of the Scott Commission, the state panel investigating the efficiency of city government. In its report issued tonight, the commission said that tenants, landlords, and building employees have all been hurt, and low-income tenants in particular get passed over for rent subsidies, even though numerous studies and reports upon which MBR was based had stressed the need for some type of subsidy for low-income tenants. The commission's director, Stephen Berger, was asked by this reporter if the Housing and Development Authority leadership is to blame for the alleged failure of the maximum base rent program, and Berger replied,
I would think so, because you've got to remember this was a program that was conceived and developed by HDA itself. The HDA sold the city council on the notion that it could implement this kind of a complex program. In fact, when we asked HDA to give us an example of an imaginative program on which it could be judged in terms of administrative failure or success, they gave us MBR, and they suggested we look at the way they're handling MBR. And quite frankly, if this is their concept of an imaginative program which is being well operated, then there's a great deal of worry we should all have about some of their other programs.
More news in a moment.